the PDM or all these political parties, they are without the military establishment, they are nothing. I mean, electorally, if there are elections, they will be wiped out. Out of the 37 by-elections, my party swept 30 elections, despite the establishment supporting them. So really, they are just puppets. The real power is the military establishment. It's not my party's crisis, it's a crisis of the country right now. In Pakistan right now, we have the law of the jungle now. There is no rule of law left. The judiciary has completely been undermined. The media has been completely muzzled. Media is completely controlled. My political party, which is the largest party in Pakistan, has been, the worst sort of victimization is taking place. 10,000 of my workers are in jail. My senior leadership in jail. There are about over 150 cases on me. So, what is happening is that in trying to dismantle my party, actually the whole democracy in Pakistan is being dismantled, which is I was arrested from the High Court of Islamabad. The way and it was the army, the commandos, the way they came in and beat everyone and picked me up and treated me like a terrorist, there was a reaction to that. But it was all pre-planned. They used that reaction to actually dismantle the whole party. Because, how can there be such a crackdown unless it was pre-planned? So the whole thing was pre-planned. The way I was picked up, police could have picked me up. Or they could have just taken me. I have a 70-year-old man. You don't need a commando action to pick him up. So it was all planned. The reaction, there was going to be a reaction, and they used the reaction then to completely go after the party and dismantle the party. In fact, in 1933, Adolf Hitler did this. What I want is, in Pakistan, that you have to have free and fair elections, which will bring stability. Now, as far as I can understand what the army establishment wants, it wants next government to be without me. So they don't want elections unless and until I am completely removed from the scene or my party is destroyed. This is what's happening. So I don't have a problem with the army. All I want in Pakistan is rule of law. The army chief seems to have a problem with me. So what Zahid Hussain said makes no sense. I didn't do anything wrong. If all the state apparatus, the state institutions, you use them to crush one party, actually you're destroying the country. So the party will stay strong as long as I have my vote bank, which is the biggest vote bank in our history. The country is going to suffer if this sort of victimization goes on and there is no rule of law, there's law of jungle, our institutions are getting weaker. When you destroy the institutions of a country, you actually destroy the country. Well, first of all, I want to find out what is the problem the army chief has with me. I need to know this, because he clearly has decided that I'm someone who should not be in power. So I need to understand that. What are the issues? What does he want? Because simply by saying that the army has decided, the army chief has decided that Imran Khan should not be the prime minister, it makes no sense. There has to be some reasoning behind it. So that's number one. We need to know. I need to understand that. And then, no matter what the establishment and these government parties do, no matter how many of our seniors they put into jail, but the vote bank is in millions. So how can they put the voters in jail? So as long as the vote bank is intact, we will win inshallah, the next election. Now the point is, what about my isolation? Yes, I am isolated because all my senior leadership is either hiding or is in jail. And I have no doubt that they will sooner or later put me in jail too. I'm going to Islamabad tomorrow. I have 19 cases, bails in 19 cases. So all they have to do is cancel one case, bail in one case, and I'll go to jail. So I am even mentally prepared for jail. But that's not going to stop them from making my party lose the elections. We will win the elections, inshallah. Rule of law, democracy, meritocracy, welfare state, human rights, fundamental rights of women, of weaker sections of the society. But that's what my idea of Islam is. But unfortunately, the West has a very stereotyped idea of Muslims. Some foreign countries think that I should not be in power and I should sort of please them to get into power. I don't want that sort of power anyway. What I said is very clear. Pakistan suffered 80,000 people died and when we joined the US war on terror. Pakistan had nothing to do with 9/11. Suffer. Well, I mean, there's virtual martial law in Pakistan. All fundamental rights are being violated. There's custodial torture. There's no rule of law in the country because the Supreme Court verdicts are ignored by the government. And above all, I mean, our democracy is being dismantled. Yet, there's no response from the Western governments. And as I said before, they talk about these issues when they want to talk about Hong Kong or Uyghurs or human rights abuse in Russia. But there's complete silence in what's happening to us here. I don't want any help from Western governments. I don't want them to help me. All I want them to do is to stand by their own, the values which they stand by, about which they preach to the world, what I call the Western values. I want them to stand by them, and doesn't matter whether it is Russia, China, or Pakistan, or any other, or India. They should be consistent. This gives freedom to human beings. And that's why it is a sacred thing, because anyone who fights for his freedom is a martyr in Islam. We call them shaheed. So therefore, for me, it's a struggle. I will try my best. If Allah makes me succeed, great. If not, then I've tried my best. So that's how I look at it. Listen, I'm saying this in front of you. Nothing can stop us from winning, inshallah. Why? Because when a political party has the biggest vote bank in a country, you cannot defeat that. So they can try everything. They can try all these methods of putting up people in jail. But how many people can they put in jail? 10,000, 20,000. But Pakistan is a country of 250 million people. It's not going to make any difference. Because if the party is the most popular party in the country, we will replace the people. The party ticket will win. And I can tell you right now, whenever there are elections, we are going to win. And this is the election year. So all what you're saying is that, fight to the end. I always fight to the last ball. I will fight to the last drop of my blood because this is for my country. Unless Pakistan has rule of law, genuine freedom, which means democracy brings freedom, we have no future. So therefore, there's no question of me ever giving up. And especially when I know that whenever there are elections, inshallah, we'll win.